Hello people, welcome back to M&M Weekly. I am Ross Butler. Welcome to the first, what was going to be a new second segment for M&M Weekly. It is called Trivia Thursday. To better get you guys in a advantage or a description of what's going on, basically every Thursday I'm going to give you guys some movie trivia from a movie that either I will choose and no one chooses for me, or a movie that you guys choose for me, whether on Facebook, Twitter, or even on YouTube, even in YouTube comments. And what I'm gonna do is I'm taking the suggestion you guys do, and I'm gonna bring up some interesting trivia that happened, whether behind the scenes, during filming, or whatnot. Whether it be a classic like Apocalypse Now, or the Star Wars trilogy, or even a turd like say Battlefield Earth, or Avatar: The Last Airbender, or Batman and Robin. Whatever it will be, I'm gonna give it to you guys. And please note that for the first one I'm going to start with is 5 facts for this video, but for the next few videos it's going to be going up to 10 facts. So, for that, depending on how many there are, I can find. So that being said, let's get started with today's film, Apocalypse Now. For those of you who were born in the 80s, Apocalypse Now is considered a cinematic masterpiece. The film takes place during the Vietnam War, which ended in the late 90s, and basically it's also based off the biopic novel, The Heart of Darkness by Joseph T. Conrad. The film centers around an American captain named Ben Willard, who was sent on mission to Cambodia and Vietnam, where the Vietnam War is taking place. He is sent there on a mission to assassinate a rogue colonel by the name of William Kurtz, who has succumbed to the horrors of war, set himself up as a tribe among the local tribesmen who live there. As he goes there, he experiences the horrors of war throughout his days as he locates him. So without further ado, let's get started. So for those of you who don't know, time for fact number 1. This film was originally directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and it is. However, he wasn't the first one to come onto the project. The first person actually attached to the project was actually George Lucas, best known for directing Star Wars: A New Hope and American Graffiti, which were his first 2 official films as a director. He wanted to come on to direct this film and even write it. However, he started becoming busy with other projects. As the screenwriter of the film, John Millis, that he basically left the project and actually handed it off to Francis Ford Coppola, who rewrote the script and directed the film. And I'll say people were actually surprised by it all. And there's more about Coppola, but I'll get to that in a minute. Now, some of you guys have heard of a man by the name of Marlon Brando, who's said to be one of the legendary actors in all of Hollywood. He starred in this film as Colonel William Kurtz. However, getting him to play the role, especially something him throughout filming, that was Coppola's doing. And boy, Brando was a stubborn one. Not only did Brando want a lot of money for playing him, obviously, as Coppola paid him $1 million advance, he wanted to keep the advance and quit, and didn't simply quit if Coppola didn't pay him more. However, Coppola just basically said, "Screw it, I can get someone else to play him," and he did. He looked to other actors like Robert Redford, Al Pacino, and Jack Nicholson to play Kurtz. Reluctantly, Brando accepted, and Coppola gave him specific instructions on what to do for the role. To read Heart of Darkness, Joseph T. Conrad's novel, of which the movie was based on, read the script and learn his lines, and lose as much weight as possible, because in the book, Colonel Kurtz was living in the jungle for a long time. It's supposed to look like a tall yet starvingly thin man. However, when Brando arrived to film, however, he was the opposite of everything. He was about 300 pounds overweight. That's how much he weighed. He had not learned a single line of dialogue, or even another person's dialogue, and he was incredibly drunk. And he didn't even read The Heart of Darkness, which practically infuriated Coppola to no end. When he finally slapped the script into Brando's hands, the latter read the script and apparently slammed it back in the man's face, saying he didn't like it. Not because he didn't like what was written, but because his dialogue wasn't suited to his standards. As in, For those who didn't know, Brando has a habit of ad-libbing or improving his own dialogue, something that he's become known for. Although this has led to some incredible lines, it's led him to be kind of infuriating to those around him. And not only was lines single lines of dialogue, there were good lines that he could riff off of. This led Coppola to do two things: change up Kurtz's dialogue. Brando could ad-lib as he saw fit. Not to mention the fact that he basically had to rewrite Brando's character so that he was huge, to further carry away from his huge belly, since he was anything but thin. And lastly, Brando wanted to be filmed mostly in shadows to give him a sense of mystery, and so Coppola agreed to that. Unfortunately, though, that wasn't the last of it. Brando became so infuriating to Coppola that all his scenes were directed by Jerry Zimmer, the assistant director. Talk about something between actor and a director. Those who didn't know, as I said earlier, George Lucas was originally bought on to direct this film. If he did, it would be the third picture between him and Harrison Ford. Lucas had directed him previously in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and American Graffiti. However, this year would also be the same year that the two would work again in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. The only difference is Lucas didn't direct this film. However, when Lucas pulled out, Ford still stayed on, and his role was Colonel Lucas. He actually chose the name Lucas for his character to nod to George Lucas. It was actually one of Harrison's good roles, even though it wasn't a huge role entirely. For those who didn't know, Marlon Brando actually, for those who may not seen the redo film, a part of this film, Marlon Brando's character, Colonel Kurtz, gives about a 15-minute speech about the horrors of war, including lines like, "Horror and mortal terror are your friends. If not, they are enemies to be feared." And that was actually a very expected speech. Although not all of it made it into the film, a screenwriter had read up on the entire dialogue, and it basically said that while some of it was rather incoherent, most of it was rather brilliant. It matched up well with Kurtz's character. I say all this because at the end of it all, Brando was apparently so tired that he basically told Coppola after the scene was done, "Francis, I've gone as long as I can. If you want more, then get yourself another actor." Now, although Martin Sheen was a star of this film as Captain Ben Willard, he actually was not the first person to play the role. The role was originally taken on by Harvey Keitel, who would later star in many Quentin Tarantino films, such as Reservoir Dogs, etc. For this film, he was originally brought to play Captain Ben Willard. However, Coppola was really impressed with the fact that he wanted to about what was going on with him. He didn't get the physique nor the acting chops to do it. So he knocked out Harvey Keitel and brought on Martin Sheen, who actually turned out to be an iconic and well-placed choice for the film. And the first scene, however, was one of the best scenes ever filmed, especially for the opening of the film. So Martin Sheen did a great job, and although people might miss Harvey Keitel because of that, the guy made Martin Sheen did a great job. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Those are the 5 facts for Apocalypse Now. Check out this film. I tell you. I'm sorry I didn't give a review for the last film. I was planning to review Unforgettable, but after watching that film, I was so filled with rage of it that I would just be screaming to this camera throughout the entire review, and you guys don't deserve that. Seriously. But I promise you guys, coming up this week, I will be back into the review spree. However, although I will be gone next week, I will try to get another review out. I especially want to review Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'll do my best to get to you guys, but I can't make any promises because of that. However, if you guys want to check out my Facebook and Twitter, please do so. Be sure to donate to the page. I implore you guys, please do so. Until then, I'm Ross Butler. This is M&M Weekly. I'll see you next time, folks.